Hey, Robert, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Why is karma and reincarnation important?
Why is karma and reincarnation important? Well, if we understand that we reincarnate and that we compost, our whole life is composted to find meaning and purpose. Like we have a whole life, and at the end of that life, we digest the experiences like we would food, and then we get the wisdom of that to go on. And I think that meditation and spiritual practice is to digest our experiences we've had so far, so that we can go on. And when it comes to the human experience and what's going on with the planet Earth right now, a lot of us get really captured in over materialistic. We're attached to the form, and we're willing to fight and argue and be angry and jealous and comparative and diminish and dilute our true self, because we don't really see the golden thread that goes through all of our many lifetimes. So we can't appreciate the moment, the bead of like the bead of the mala. You know, like there's a rosary in the Catholic Church, and there's the mala, you know, in Buddhism and in Hinduism, you know, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. You know, the I am or the hero or the God or the virtue is in the thinking, feeling, and willing. That's the Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. That's one way to look at it. I talk about it a little bit in my book, Astrological Aspects of the Art. So reincarnation and karma is probably how we handle every moment or every lifetime or every situation. It's the bead. But our true self is the golden thread that goes through all the beads. And when you get a spiritual practice, you become the holy or the whole that goes through the bead. A selflessness that's willing to learn. Plato said if you're willing to learn, anything can happen. And I think that reincarnation and karma, if we could really understand that if we hurt somebody else or steal from somebody else or violate somebody else, if we violate ourselves, that it creates karma, cause and effect. If people understood reincarnation and karma, we would never hurt each other. We would honor the earth. We'd put God or virtue or the universal life force back into the earth and the body, and we wouldn't pirate everything for our own profit. You know, we think we're helping ourselves, but see, I think actually it's like this. Either we understand the full cycle, like people may not understand what I'm saying now. Either we understand the full cycle of an honorable, sacred birth, like being born at home or with friends around you, like healthy birth, and the 7-year cycles and the maturation processes that Rudolf Steiner talks about, that we understand the whole cycle of the new moon to the full moon to the new moon again. In other words, we understand that we're born as like a seed or a little beginning, and that we find a form, and for at least 30 years, if not more, the spirit reincarnates into our body and our form grows. And then the spirit starts to leave from like all the way to 30 years, we reincarnate and grow, and then we stabilize for about 30 years. And then from 60 to 90, the spirit starts to leave. So the whole cycle of samsara, the whole cycle of reincarnation and karma, the whole cycle of dharma is that we can understand life, how the spirit infuses the form, animates the form, and that through our experience we intelligize our experience in form and learning lesson. And then we die. We go back into the universe. When we die, our light goes back into the universe, and our breath and our warmth and our energetic and our mind travel on to continue our journey of learning until we're enlightened and free and fully participant with the whole world around us. May we continue to journey and learn. So we can learn, we can see the whole cycle of life and the many cycles of history and what's happening to humanity. We can learn from that. You can actually get pretty enlightened. You can become pretty noble and virtuous. We can also try to learn the center of the cycle. We can learn to be the center of the wheel. We can learn to be still. If you can learn to be still in what I call emptiness practice, holiness practice. Again, I mentioned this in all my talks in my book, Astrological Aspects of the Art. If we can learn to be still, when you die, you'll still be here. We distill the experience into the elixir of wisdom and insight so we can do better. Why would we want to do better? So we can help ourselves and the world to be kind of a better place, you know. If you really love, you want the world to be. So this is what I wanted to say. Reincarnation and karma will take away the pressures that you have to perform today, this year, this lifetime, and that you can relax a little bit and get a bigger view. It's like the little turtle raises his head in the grass, and you get to see the bigger view of where you're going. A lot of us don't really see where we're going until it's too late. We don't really see who we are. So this is reincarnation and karma. If we could understand it, overnight there'd be peace in the world. Did you have another question?
Why is this important in future endeavors in terms of prosperity and jobs?
And maybe love, because who wants a job that you don't love? Who wants prosperity when you don't have love and you don't know yourself? And if you don't know yourself, you don't know the world around you, you know. And so I think that to know the self, we have to kind of come to understand this vast spirit of infinite time and cycles and stillness at the center. We have to have that. And so if we understand ourselves, then we can understand others, and we can find our destiny, our dharma. We can find that which enlivens, strengthens, roots, creates more participatoriness with all life. This can make, like in love relationships, when they go bad, when love doesn't work, and we're attached to the form that the love has taken, and we don't see the bigger picture of next life and the life after that. We don't see the bigger picture of what's happening to the whole world. You know, in my prediction that Oprah could win the presidency next time, I mean, my idea of looking at the chart, and that Trump has very difficult charts. I mean, why would he want to be president again if he has so many difficult aspects that he would have to suffer the growth pain? I mean, all the pain is the labor pain of a higher birth from a spiritual point of view. And I think that right after Oprah gives this great speech at the Golden Globes and about the Me Too and the Me 3, and right after she gives this great speech, her house in a very elite, expensive neighborhood in California is overridden by rivers of mud, and so she's learning about impermanence. That everything's impermanent. We can love 1,000 times more than we do already, but we can't be attached to the form. And what if we were to see each other, that we're trying to help each other get enlightened and free and wise and distill our experience into the elixir of wisdom? If we saw the many lifetimes, then we could arrange our life in such a way that we would constantly be constellating and attracting beautiful friends from many lifetimes to make the whole earth a garden. And so I'll talk more about love in a little bit, but if you really love a person, you love them for their enlightenment process and who they're trying to be free and wise and participant and interactive, and like all of us are stars. If you get too close, you burn each other up, and if you get too far, you start to freeze. Thank you for asking those questions.
Beautiful words, Robert Thibodeau.
Yeah.